Good morning. The purpose of the Endowment Fund, according to our bylaws, is fairly broad. The First United Endowment Fund is established to provide a repository for gifts to the church. Income from the fund will be used to support the program and facility needs and outreach and/or mission activities of the church. Although donations to this fund are collected in church accounts, the money is transferred a few times a year to our investment account at United Church Funds in New York City. Our investments currently are in a balanced fund that is roughly 2/3 stock and 1/3 bonds. This wonderful organization manages funds for UCC churches, generally earning very high returns with no fees. Our money, along with endowment funds from other UCC churches, promote UCC values in the business world. They invest in large and small companies that are environmentally responsible, promote racial and gender equity, and have governance boards that reflect diversity. Even when the markets are down, we can feel good that our money is doing great work in the world. We are grateful to Mike Moss, who was wise enough to move our endowment fund to United Church Funds years ago and received matching funds for doing so. The endowment committee consists of 3 directors who are elected by the congregation at annual meetings. To qualify for these positions, a person must be an active member of the congregation and a regular supporter of the church. Terms are 3 years, with terms expiring on a rotating basis. Directors can serve an unlimited number of terms, but must be re-elected for each additional term. I am proud to introduce my amazing team, all women who bring exceptional qualifications to the job. Genevieve Lacca, would you please stand, or just for a moment so people can see your face? That's Genevieve. Genevieve's current job is advising individuals and families on ways to support nonprofits through lifetime giving and legacy giving. She manages an endowment program to nonprofits, educational institutions, and religious organizations. Denise Winbauer, would you please stand? Okay. Denise is well known here at church for her culinary talents and her many years of fellowship service, including humbly cleaning up after the rest of us in the kitchen so many times. She's also served as congregational clerk and council recorder. Denise recently retired from a long career at the Colorado School of Mines, where she oversaw the Petroleum Engineering Graduate Program and assisted with research funding and spending. She joined the Endowment Committee to become more familiar with the financial stability of the church and to promote the importance of having the endowment. I'm Martha Sullivan, lost my name this morning, but I am, I think, a church member for 44 years. After retiring from teaching, I learned a lot about church finance during my term as moderator. Otherwise, my financial investment knowledge comes mainly from independent study and managing family investments. I tend to be fiscally conservative, a saver who is cautious about debt, and I'm a long-term planner with a vision who sets goals and figures out how to reach them. Our team meets quarterly on Zoom. We also communicate closely with Treasurer Jason Hine, Accountant Bob Bunting, the Life Celebration Committee, and Church Administrator Kathy Hine. All that communication is necessary in order to move money smoothly through the church system and then transfer donations several times a year from church accounts to United Church Funds in New York. We all check each other in order to avoid mistakes and glitches. The endowment fund has no operating budget and no real expenses. There are no special collections. As stated in the bylaws, the bulk of our donations are expected to come from either wills or estate legacies or memorial contributions from friends and families of deceased members. We do encourage everyone to set up such planned gifts, but are happy to inform you that we are thrilled to accept donations for any reason at any time. The first ever contribution to the endowment fund was $1,000 from a member who was delighted to hear me say, Nobody needs to die to contribute to the endowment fund. The endowment fund has had a slow start back in 2007, when a group of dreamers, including myself on the stewardship board, decided to take Bill Martin's advice and set up an endowment fund. We wrote an excellent plan with the help of the endowment expert at ILIF. It's a hard sell when you have no money to start with. As a small church, there were always more immediate needs. Although our members have always been extremely generous in their financial support of the operating budget and mission causes, most people procrastinate when it comes to financial planning. Long-range goals like retirement plans, saving for college, or making an estate plan often get put off until it's too late. I'm happy to report that the endowment fund really took off in 2020. It was my first term as a director of the fund. I'd like to claim credit, but that honor belongs to the anonymous donor who gave the church a $10,000 challenge. To get the money deposited to endowment, the congregation had to match the gift dollar for dollar. High interest brought in many generous gifts, and our small fund tripled. Bob Bunting then did an analysis of all memorial gifts over a 5-year period and identified an additional $10,170 that was either designated to endowment or should go there based on provisions of the bylaws. In just a few short years, our endowment has grown from under $10,000 to almost $50,000. When we reach that minimum threshold of $50,000, Council can start spending 80% of the interest the fund earns based on the previous year, if it chooses to do so. The principal, that's all the original gift amounts, will stay in the fund eternally. The genius of an endowment fund is that the principal can never be spent. It can only generate income for the church. Over time, new gifts are continually added to old ones. The value of all the investments will grow along with compounded interest. Colleges were the first to promote endowment funds, now worth many millions. These days, every charitable organization and nonprofit that solicits donations will ask you to contribute to their endowment or legacy society. The Denver Zoo, Arvada Center, and all hospitals are examples from my mail, and other churches have had great success. I thank the Stewardship Board for inviting me to explain endowment. We don't usually have such opportunities because there are no special collections or mission moments to remind you of what our committee does. I hope to be invited back during the fall stewardship campaign because I know for a fact that generosity is a powerful force that is contagious and defies limits. The truth is that the same generous people who contribute faithfully to the operating fund are also generous mission givers. That's where our energy comes from. Research shows that those who pledge are even more likely to make planned gifts to an endowment fund as their commitment to the church grows. I hope that stewardship will start including the endowment committee in their annual campaign, and that we will soon become an important part of the overall financial vision of this amazing church. Thank you.